We'd received a mission from the Government Department for Education, and it was regarding the scale of the problem of sexual harassment in schools. The government had insisted that this was affecting maybe around 5% of schools. And from what we've been hearing, it seems like that wasn't the case at all, and that it was actually much more widespread than this. And so while we could have made that claim ourselves, we wanted to hear from groups of people that could come together and collectively bring their experience to hand to help us understand whether even the statistics that were being published are accurate, or whether their lived experience suggested that it was even more widespread than that. Creating a digital environment meant that, almost instantaneously we could hear from a much more diverse group of people. And we could hear from teachers, we could hear from people from charities, we heard from a CEO of a charity, we heard from Girls Guiding, which is a kind of Scouts community for girls. We heard from some academics and PhD researchers. So we had a very wide pool of people with different kinds of expertise to bring to account. And they provided very thoughtful and well-researched and evidence-based responses. I think one of the things that surprised me was just how high quality the responses were. I think that it's easy to think of digital engagement as involving mass participation with low investment and perhaps low levels of knowledge and expertise. And I think that what we did here was we heard from a smaller group of people, and we weren't looking to hear from thousands of people like you might think of Twitter or Facebook being able to offer. We were looking to hear from a small community of people, and as a result, the responses were really high quality, and they were very specific, they were very focused. So I think the thing that surprised me was just how useful it was, and also the government's response to it. You can do these kinds of experiments, and you want them to have impact, but it's a bit speculative. You don't know exactly what's going to happen. In this case, the government responded by rescinding the initial submission. And so the government obviously had placed quite a lot of weight on this. So I think those two things, it was the sheer quality of the responses that we received, and also how seriously the government ended up taking them. So essentially the technology was very, very simple, quite old. It was what we were doing was much more based around a well thought out process, and a process that was actually linked into a parliamentary process. And technologically, I think that there's lots of potential with very limited means if there is something that's the process itself is well thought out. The key issue is that the public engagement had a real purpose. It wasn't because somebody wanted to do it for its own sake, though that is a very valid and reasonable thing to want to do. The reason it works, and in my opinion, when public engagement works best, is because there is a need and a desire from both sides, the people who want to listen and the people who want to speak, and that they can come together in a really productive way. I think I would say have faith in the ability of your citizens to help you. I think when it comes to digital engagement, as I was saying earlier, it's very easy to get nervous about how people will respond. Maybe they won't respond at all. Maybe too many people respond. Maybe they won't have anything helpful to say. Maybe you're going to be stuck with thousands of comments and what you're going to do with them. It's easy to conceptualize engagement in that way. Where the potential lies is hearing from people who have exceptionally valuable things to contribute, and they're going to make your life easier, and are going to help you push forward your agenda and help you do your job, which is, you know, in government, make good policy, make good laws, in parliament, scrutinize those processes. So the reason you should do it is because it's going to be good for you. It's going to help you do what you're trying to do.